Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I will be showing you how I joined the fabrics we cut in the first part and second part of the tutorial of how to make this gown. I have joined the center piece and the side pieces of the front bodice for both lining and fabric. I joined the lining separately and the Ankara separately. I notched the seams and I ironed it open for both the main fabric and the lining. I did not add any wadding to the main fabric, rather I ironed double layer of estée to the bust area. I have also sewn in the darts for the back piece, the lining separately and the main fabric separately. Also for the skirt parts, for both the front and the back pieces, I've sewn their darts separately, lining separate and the main fabric separate. What I will be doing next is to join the upper bodice to the lower bodice. I will be joining the main fabric, the upper bodice of the main fabric to the lower bodice of the main fabric using 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'll also do the same to the lining piece, the front upper bodice and the front lower bodice. I would join them together, lining to lining, main fabric to main fabric. Also for the back piece, I'll be joining main fabric, the upper bodice of the main fabric to the lower bodice of the main fabric. I'll also do the same for the lining. And when joining, I'll make sure that the darts on the upper bodice align with the darts on the lower bodice. I'll do this on my machine and I'll come back and show you. I have joined the upper bodice to the lower bodice for the front. I ironed open the seam. I made sure that the darts up and the darts down align to each other. I also did the same for the back piece. I made sure that everything was aligning. I also did the same for all the pieces of the lining, the front piece and the back pieces as well. I joined all together using 1/2 inch seam allowance. What I will be doing next is to join my front pattern to my back pattern. But before doing that, I'll use pins to hold in my zipper allowance. I'll hold in my zipper allowance with pin. Then joining the fabrics right sides facing each other, I'll then sew in my seam allowance. The seam allowance I left while cutting. This dress I used a side seam allowance of 1.5, so I'll be sewing in 1.5 inches on both sides. I will do the same for the lining piece as well. I have joined the front and the back pieces together for the main fabric. I've joined them together using the seam allowance. I've also done the same for the lining pieces. I have also cut out 4 strips. 2 I will be sewing across the shoulder and the remaining 2 I'll be using as sleeve band to attach my cape. For the one across the shoulder, I have cut a measurement of 11 inches by 2.5 inches before I sewed it in and turned out to the right side, leaving me with 2 inches by 11 inches. And I'll be attaching this across the shoulder, one for the right side and one for the left side. Then for the other strip, I have a measurement of 2 inches by 9.5 inches on fold, and I will be attaching this as a sleeve band to help me attach my cape. For my cape, I have folded my fabric into two and I cut a length of 5 inches on fold and a width of about 22 to 23 inches, and I ironed soft stay to my fabric. For you to know how much fabric you need for the cape, you'll be measuring from the center front of the dress. You measure till you get to the back before the zipper allowance, and for me I had 24 inches and I subtracted 2 inches from it, and that gave me 22 inches, and I'll be cutting two of these. On one end of the cape, on the bottom side, I will come in by 1 inch and then I'll connect it in a slanted manner to the top part. After connecting this, I will trim it off. I'll cut it off and I will do the same for the cape for the other side. And this side will be the side that will be in front when I'm sewing the cape to the dress. I have attached the sleeve band to the dress, and I'll go ahead and attach my zip to the main fabric of the dress using the zipper allowance I left. I have joined the sleeve, the band, and I've also attached the zipper to the main fabric of the dress. I've attached the zipper only to the main fabric for now, and I've sewn the remaining parts of the back side. I've sewn them together. Then the next thing I will do is to bring my lining piece right side facing each other. I would join it right side facing each other. Then from the center of the dress, from the center front of the dress, I will sew 2 inches to the right and 2 inches to the left. I'll be sewing, joining both the main fabric and the lining that way, because my cape will not be getting to that point. And I also use the lining right side of the fabric and the lining facing each other. I would turn the armhole to conceal the rough edges. I would use it this way to conceal the rough edges. I have tidied up the center front of the main fabric with the lining as I showed you before. I also top stitched. I've also attached the lining to the zipper, and I've also turned one side of the armhole. I will show you with the other side how I did this. I will turn my fabric right sides facing each other. The main fabric, the right side of the main fabric facing the right side of the lining. Then I will join them together from one end of the armhole to the other end. I'll make sure that the side seam allowance of the main fabric and that of the lining align with each other. Then I would sew them together using 1/2 inch seam allowance. I will also attach my lining to my zipper. I would place the right side of the lining to the right side of the fabric with the zip in between. Then I would sew using the zipper allowance on the lining. While sew, you have to feel the zip in order not to sew on the coil of the zip. Then I'll also join the lower parts of the lining together like I did for the main fabric. I'll do that and then push the lining into the main dress. I have done all these. I've attached the zipper to both the main fabric and the lining, and I've turned the armhole for both arms. And I've gone ahead to attach the cape to one side with the strap, and I'll be showing you how I did that with the other side. To attach my strap, I will measure from the open side that I did not sew. I'll measure from the inner side. I'll measure 2 inches towards the armhole. Then with the right side of my strap facing the wrong side of the dress, I would attach my cape to the front, my strap to the front with a pin. Then for the back side, I'll be measuring from the zip. From the zip, I'll be measuring 4 inches towards the armhole. Guys, please neglect what you see in the video. I did the opposite of what I said. It should be from the zipper side. You measure 4 inches towards the armhole, then you attach your strap to that point. Then for the cape, I will attach the cape right side facing the wrong side of the fabric. I'll start attaching from the point that is open in front. From the front part that is open, I'll pin them together, fabric and cape together till the zip point. Then I'll go to my machine and sew them together using 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then I will After sewing them together, I'll then top stitch towards the dress. My top stitch will be towards the dress. After this, I will then join this dress to the peplum part. I'll join the dress and the peplum together using the 1/2 inch seam allowance I left for it. Then I'll also hem the lower part of the peplum. And this brings us to the end of this tutorial. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Thank you.